How did a business permanently lose you as a customer? AutoTrader Online. Bought a car out of state and they never transported it. They also never handled the paperwork. Seller and I had to do it all ourselves. Weeks of phone calls with AutoTrader ending in, "We promise, doing that now, just shipped, you should hear from them within X hours." 2 months. Nothing. Never again, AutoTrader. I don't believe your lies. Thank goodness seller was a decent human. Directv. They let you buy any movie or channel package online or with a remote, but if you want to cancel something you have to call into their 1-800 number. After sitting on hold forever and then having to sit through a bunch of offers on other channels and packages, I just cut the cord. I ordered carryout from a French restaurant in Pittsburgh early in the pandemic. The order was around 20. I gave them my PayPal debit card number. When I got to the restaurant, I added a bottle of water, which changed the amount I owed to, say, 27. So they processed the 2 orders, for a total of 47, which I did not realize until sometime the next week. It took over a month to get my first 20 returned to me. The owner of the shop could not have been any nastier, saying it was my fault. Never have I ever gone back there. Vivid seats. I purchased a floor ticket for a concert and was sent a mezzanine, second floor, ticket and unfortunately didn't notice till I got to the concert. Obviously floor tickets were way more expensive than the ticket I received. Vivid Seats refused to refund me because the seller fulfilled my order. Apparently doesn't matter if you don't get what you pay for. I filed a chargeback with my credit card and just found out this morning that I won. I won't ever be using them again, customer service was horrible. SiriusXM called me to get me to renew my subscription. Here's how the convo went, me, I haven't used it in so long I didn't even know I had a subscription. You can go ahead and cancel it. SiriusXM rep, okay, your credit card on file is expired, so for you to cancel your subscription we need your updated credit card info so we can charge you for the last month of service and the cancellation fee. Me, wait, so you want me to give you my credit card info so you can charge me to cancel your service, which I just told you I'm not using? SiriusXM rep, yes, that's right. Me, and if I don't give you my credit card info you have no way to charge me? SiriusXM rep, yes, that's right. Me, LMAO no. Goodbye. @AMP. I had the weirdest situation. We had to transfer our landline to their new service, but still @AMP to @AMP. It took over 21 days to get it working and I called them every single day, no joke. They would say the same stuff, will reset the system. I decided to cancel it, then said, well, you need to pay for the cancellation fee. I'm like, but you guys lagged so long that it made me cancel. Did not budge at all and said, well, you missed the deadline. Cancelled @AMP internet, phone, cable. Cancelled @AMP business internet/phone. Cancelled @AMP T-Mobile. I understand I'm just a number and won't bring down their business, but you ain't getting another dime. #AMP #X200B, edit, wow. Didn't realize the hate, I thought this only happened to me, lol. Love the stories, spent about half an hour reading it. I'm currently with Xfinity/Comast, which still gave me issues, but I'm not screwed that much yet. Last time I went to Panera, it was 0 for 2 of us. My soup had no solids in it, my sandwich had a pitiful amount of ingredients. The employees were rude AF, as if we inconvenienced them by walking in the door. Never again, Panera. Back in the day, I wanted to buy the Chrono Trigger port for DS, so I went to the local mom and pop game store. When I asked for it, the clerk laughed at me for even asking it because there's no way I would find one in town without a pre-order. Left that store and went to Walmart and they were fully stocked. I went back and showed it to him and told him he's an idiot and that he had lost a customer for treating me like an idiot. Hurts. for claiming their cars were stolen and then getting warrants placed on said car renters. Me and my partner used to go to this one diner all the time before we moved, really good food and good service. After moving back to the area, we decided to get a meal. We were seated, and then waited. A random busboy saw us looking not served, so he brought us water. We saw one waitress, and she was on the phone. After a couple more minutes, the same busboy saw us looking confused and told us that the woman on the phone was our waitress. We were like, oh okay. After a couple more minutes, the busboy went over to the waitress and we heard him tell her that she had customers. 5 more minutes went by, she didn't even glance in our direction, and we got up and left. // since then we've never felt like going back, and we used to eat there all the time. I owned a 2000 Dodge Caravan. Dodge will never get another dime of my money. Wells Fargo. They held the mortgage on our house. We had paid on time every time, for many years. I lost my job, wife stayed employed, continued to pay uninterrupted for those 8 months. New job was 25% increase over previous job and was in the same field. About 3 months after I got my new job, the interest rates dropped, and we decided to refinance. They would not refinance us, because I did not have at least 6 months of steady employment. They already held the loan. I made more money than ever before, both my wife and I were employed, I had about 50% equity, our retirement accounts were enough to pay the house 8x over, and they would not work with us. We left for a credit union. When we called to get the payoff amount for the refi, they tried to keep our business. Screw 'em. Never again. A local restaurant we used to love pissed us off so badly we will never go back. A small group of us were waiting for a table, but it was a 45-minute wait in a crowded vestibule at the tail end of COVID, so we opted to wait in the car. They had one of those systems where they text you when your table becomes available. We got the text, and were at the hostess stand at most 2 minutes after getting the text, all ready to check in. The hostess said since we took more than 5 minutes that she gave our table away, but we could put our name in again and be at the bottom of the line. We even showed her the phone that received the text to prove it hadn't been 5 minutes yet. Their system had about a 7-minute delay on their end, but they refused to try to accommodate us. Screw them, won't waste another minute or a dime at that place ever again. AAA. I lived in Michigan and was driving with my 2 young kids in northern Ohio. We drove through a construction zone and wound up getting 2 flat tires at the same time. Called AAA. Sorry, you're out of state. We can't help you. This was before smartphones. It was below zero outside. They wouldn't even call a tow truck for me. A very kind Ohio highway patrolman stopped and took care of us. Got an impromptu craving for ice cream, so turned into DQ. Took forever, and then when I was at the window, I watched my ice cream sitting there melting while the manager was straight up berating and cursing the other employees out. No thank you. T-Mobile deleted voice mails from my deceased mom and wouldn't recover them for me. Not my story, but when I was working at Taco Bell, a man called us to say that we didn't add sour cream to his item. He said, "You mark this day on your calendar, because I am never coming back." Taco Bell has never recovered from him leaving. R.I.P. A Quiznos manager aggressively hit on my wife. When the Utah legislature was considering raising the alcohol limit of beer for sale on tap and in grocery stores to be in line with the rest of the country, Red Rock Brewing spoke out against the increase. The owner essentially said his patrons couldn't be trusted with the increase and would overconsume if the limit was raised from 3.2% ABW to 5% ABV. This brewery had multiple bottles beers well above that, 8 to 10% ABV. Since I can't be trusted to understand how much I can drink, he can't be trusted with my money anymore. Red Rock had some great beers, but I avoid them specifically because their owner is a complete idiot. Went to have dinner with my wife at a restaurant I'd been going to since I was a little kid. Finished dinner, ordered soft serve cones. Took one bite of my cone and it was sour. Went up to the counter and told the employee that I think the ice cream was bad, and asked how often they clean the machines. In my state it's required to be cleaned daily. He said I can't remember, probably a couple weeks. I said I'd like a refund because the ice cream tastes bad, and he held out his hand to take the cone. I handed it to him and without any hesitation he took a huge bite of it and swallowed, then said tastes fine to me. We left and never went back. I had a full loyalty card after 10 visits at a poke place. I always ordered the same thing, a large with avocado. The card has no restrictions on it whatsoever, just said that after 10 you get a free meal, star. I tried to use it on my normal order and was told I couldn't do that, and would be upcharged for the size and add-ins. Mind you, this was already after ordering and it being in my hand. Manager backed it up and refused to comp that whole thing, demanding I pay the difference. I said no, said I'm going to leave with my food now. He said he'd charge me the rest the next time I was in. I went very frequently, so I never went back and took my business to another poke place. Screw them. Asterisk at it actually said a free bowl. Not a meal, so, didn't include a drink. Walked into a gun store here in town. Before I even said anything the guy at the counter said if you aren't gonna buy anything I'm not wasting my time showing you anything. Nope. Never been back. Dyson, because I bought their top-of-the-line, cordless vacuum, and its advertised function stopped working after a month, on 3 separate units. I accidentally gave a hair-cutting lady a 0-star rating in a survey instead of 5 for some dumb reason I forgot. I can never go to Sport Clips again because I'm afraid of them pulling my record. Holiday Inn, IHG Hotels, I was a top-tier member for 15 plus years. Typically, stayed about 200 nights a year there. Tried to book a stay online using points, but it wouldn't go through. Called and they told me that all of the rooms allocated for points were booked. I said it shows there are tons of empty rooms, and they agreed but said they only book X rooms to points. They suggested I call corporate, which I did. They said the same thing. I said I hate to pull the "do you know who I am" card, but you might want to check my profile. They didn't care. I said you're willing to lose a customer that stays at your property 200 plus nights a year because you won't let me use points to stay at an empty hotel? They said yup. So I spent 1,800,000 points on reward stuff that night and have stayed in a Hilton property every day since.